Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into a bean-to-bar journey today, uncovering the unheard secrets of chocolate. We're going to trace its incredible path all the way from a botanical bean to that perfectly crafted bar you grab off the store shelf. I mean, it's a globally loved treat, right? But the science, the huge machinery, and the history behind it, well, they are surprisingly deep.
So, do you really think you know everything about chocolate? Honestly, most of us just rip off that foil wrapper and enjoy it without a second thought. But behind that wrapper is an incredibly rich and complex story. As we go through this explainer today, we're going to explore this fascinating journey. And I promise you, by the time we wrap up, you will have a completely new appreciation for this amazing dessert.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're starting right at the very beginning, the origins and history of cocoa.
It's kind of crazy to think that this massive, multi-billion-dollar global industry begins incredibly simply. It all starts with cocoa pods growing directly on the Theobroma cacao tree. And unlike most fruits you see, these vibrant, literally football-shaped pods sprout right out of the tree's trunk and its main branches. It's this really unique botanical phenomenon known as cauliflory. And tucked away inside those pods, those are the precious seeds that will eventually become our chocolate.
Now, the historical leap here is brilliant. Cultivation actually started thousands of years ago with ancient Central American civilizations. They used to consume it as this really bitter, frothy drink, totally different from what we eat today. But over time, the geography of where it's produced has completely shifted. Fast forward to today, and the world's top producers are over in West Africa. Countries like the Ivory Coast and Ghana are the ones supplying the vast majority of the modern market.
All right, get ready, because now we're moving from the farm to the factory floor. Let's track the process, from cocoa bean to chocolate bar. When those cocoa beans are first extracted, they are super bitter and hold way too much moisture. So, step 1, they are carefully sun-dried. But step 2 is where the magic really happens, roasting the beans. Roasting triggers these incredibly complex chemical changes, specifically something called the Maillard reaction. That is exactly what brings out those deep, familiar, aromatic chocolate notes we all know and love.
From there, the roasted beans embark on this intense, multi-machine timeline. The ground cocoa gets mixed with sugar and milk powder, and then it's refined down to a literal microscopic level. This is absolutely crucial so that the final product feels perfectly smooth on your tongue and not gritty at all. After that, it moves on to molding into that classic bar shape, and finally, packaging. It's really just an incredible symphony of industrial engineering.
So the crucial point in all of this is tempering. Tempering is this highly precise temperature control applied to the liquid chocolate. You heat it and cool it to exact degrees just to perfectly align the cocoa butter crystals, specifically into what scientists call a beta V crystal structure. This precise chemistry is exactly what gives high-quality chocolate its gorgeous, glossy shine, and, that really satisfying crisp snap when you break a piece off. Without tempering, the chocolate would be totally dull, soft, and it would melt the second you touched it.
Now that we've got the process down, let's look at a pretty surprising scientific comparison, the great contrast between dark and white chocolate.
Just look at how perfectly these two contrast with each other. The defining characteristic of dark chocolate is its high volume of actual cocoa solids. That's what gives it that intense, robust, and sometimes kind of bitter flavor profile. But on the exact opposite end of the spectrum, white chocolate contains absolutely zero cocoa solids. None. It's crafted solely from cocoa butter, which is the natural fat extracted from the bean, and then blended with milk and sugar. So you get completely different structural and culinary experiences, even though they are derived from the exact same pod.
Let's zoom out from the factory level for a second to look at the world's favorite sweet. This really is a worldwide passion.
Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer staggering magnitude of production. We are talking millions of tons of chocolate produced globally every single year. To put that into perspective, it requires this massively synchronized global supply chain just to pull it off. From the hardworking farmers to the enormous shipping logistics, right down to those automated factories, all working nonstop just to keep up with our insatiable demand.
And that massive production number connects directly to its universal popularity. It is one of the most popular sweets globally. Loved in almost every single country on Earth, it completely transcends cultures and borders. I mean, whether you're sipping a warm, hot cocoa in a snowy climate or snapping into a beautifully tempered dark chocolate truffle in a high-end boutique, it brings us all together.
So after tracing this whole journey, let me ask you, will you ever look at a shiny, tempered piece of chocolate the same way again? I highly doubt it. The next time you unwrap a bar and hear that crisp snap, just remember the ancient origins, the massive global agricultural effort, and the incredibly complex chemistry required to craft it.
Thank you so much for joining me on today's Explainer. Keep learning and stay curious.